Coming up on this Hunter College Newsbreak. A new look for the Skybridge that reminds students of their right to free speech.
And the scholarship that allows more than 700 Hunter students to attend college tuition-free this fall.
And find out what Hunter students really think about the MTA.
All that and more in this Hunter College Newsbreak.
Welcome to this Hunter College Newsbreak. I'm Andrea Grujic.
And I'm Ezra Wolfgang.
Hunter College's iconic skybridges over Lexington Avenue have received a major makeover this fall. The popular hangout for students is now home to artist Robert Longo's American Bridge project. Longo installed the exhibit at the beginning of the semester to celebrate the First Amendment. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution is on display at Hunter College, along with the good old glory waving right above it. Howard Singerman, chair of the Department of Art and Art History, says this project is an immersive experience both for students passing through the billboard-sized image and for people observing it from the street.
The bridges are great. They really work as a venue for public art. When you stand outside on Lexington Avenue during the day and the silhouettes of students walk back and forth on the bridge through the language of the First Amendment, and it becomes its own kind of staging.
Longo created 2 charcoal drawings based on images he found online, an American flag and a handwritten First Amendment, both of which capture his long-standing interest in emblems of political power, patriotism, and history. By bringing Longo's first large-scale project to Hunter, art curator Jill Brienza hopes to spur conversation among the diverse student body as well as the general public.
Robert Longo's work is so relevant. His journey to become an artist was not dissimilar to the students here, and I think that's why it's so well received as a project.
While most students admire the artistic efforts to enrich Hunter's facilities, some are unaware of its purpose and are quite upset that their favorite campus view is now completely blocked.
What I love is to look out of these bridges. I love taking pictures, and I love sitting here with my friends, and this is kind of is clouding it.
I wasn't a fan of it, but that's mostly because I didn't know what the meaning behind it was.
I think it's kind of nice to have it up here, especially adorned with the American flag.
Critiques of capitalism, mass culture, and race relations are common themes in Longo's works. But the Bridge Project is all about celebrating the freedoms guaranteed in our Constitution. And students say that this message will continue to echo through the halls of Hunter even after the exhibit is taken down.
Since President Trump's election, anarchist protests led by a group calling themselves Antifa have popped up throughout the country. These left-wing protesters say they're fighting a rise of white supremacy from the alt-right. As part of our Hunter Student Speak series, I asked students what they think Antifa represents.
Yeah, I think it's but I know that
from what I know, it started in the 80s in Germany to oppose rising fascist movements at the time.
I think it's a direct result of the administration, but I think it's been brewing for years. But I think now is the breaking point.
I think they just execute their right as American citizens, execute their First Amendment right as American citizens. They protest, they demonstrate.
Antifa is violent authoritarians. They aren't peaceful. They are just as bad as the alt-right. They just pretend to be different.
Antifa is an incredibly good organization attempting to fight something that's become a growing evil in this country.
I believe that they believe in equality and harmony, and they want to push for a stronger country that includes individuals that can live together.
Oh, you're facing felony riot charges for fighting fascists? No, you're not fighting fascists. You're fighting Americans. You are fighting people. You are fighting the entire democratic process this country was built on.
I think for the most part, with the alt-right and neo-Nazis, communication doesn't work because they're not there to listen, but they're there to speak, and they're there to only give their own points of view.
They're not trying to inspire terror, they're trying to fight fascism.
When you try to enact violence on the populace in order to push your agenda through, you should go to jail.
I believe that there are unfortunate situations where violence may be the only answer. If someone's life is in danger, obviously you can't really stop someone very peacefully there.
According to the Anti-Defamation League, nearly 74% of all deaths in the U.S. from domestic extremism from 2007 to 2016 were caused by right-wing extremists, while only 2% by left-wing groups. Going to college just became a reality for thousands of New York residents. According to Governor Cuomo, more than 200,000 students are attending school tuition-free thanks to the Excelsior Scholarship. That's about half of all full-time and in-state CUNY and SUNY students. Here's more on how the scholarship works and who can apply. College has never been more affordable for Hunter College junior Monica Feinstein, all thanks to the Excelsior Scholarship.
It's taken the burden off of paying for tuition a lot. I've been really grateful for it because my mom now doesn't have to pay for my tuition.
At Hunter, more than 1,000 students have applied for the scholarship, and over 700 are slated to receive it this fall. Administrators at Hunter say they have been successful in granting eligible students the scholarship money.
The application process and the administrative procedures for this award have actually been very smooth. We've worked really well with our partners at CUNY and SUNY, HESC, New York State to roll out this award.
After filing their current FAFSA and TAP applications, students must complete an online form exclusively for the Excelsior Scholarship. The application requires family income information as well as academic history for continuing students. A student's annual household income must not exceed $100,000, and students are required to live and work in New York after graduation for the same number of years as they receive the scholarship. Some students are not applying because of this rule and other drawbacks.
There's also that New York is very expensive, so finding an apartment will be very difficult, and paying rent and going through all that stuff just to work here for 4 years.
Students with a household income of $110,000 will be eligible next year, while students with household incomes of $125,000 will be eligible the following year.
Many of those students use the MTA on a daily basis. With nearly 6 million riders on any weekday, the New York City subway is one of the largest and oldest in the world. It's also the source of a lot of commuter misery. And all of those frequent delays and track disruptions have prompted students to speak up in this edition of Hunter Students Speak.
The word I would use for the MTA is frustrating.
Well, it's really inefficient sometimes, most of the time.
It's effective in that it takes us from point A to point B.
I've certainly been late to class because of it, though, and work.
Yeah,
But I know that.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
It was saying okay, 10 minutes till the next one train. And I waited, and the train came, and it didn't stop. It just kept going.
I was stuck on the train in Brooklyn, going in between stops for 15 minutes. And I was just so mad. If you're gonna charge me more, don't give me worse service.
The MTA doesn't really care about the people taking the train every day. They just want to make money. Other countries around the world, like Japan, Asian countries especially, their subway is really good compared to ours. And so we can't be saying, oh, America's the best country in the world. We need to, in every aspect, we need to step up.
I think that they can afford to invest more money into repairing the lines, and overhauling the whole subway system.
Using that kind of money for maintenance, I really want to see that kind of progress, but I don't.
They're trying to do this new thing with USB ports at train stations, and they're just making them nicer, but they're not really making trains run more efficiently. Put more money into fixing train signals, updating the system, and less money on dumb floor mats that point arrows telling us where to stand.
According to the MTA, it's planning to overhaul older subway cars and add new ones to trains in the near future. The agency will also do triple heavy-duty cleaning to clear tracks of trash and hopes to fix 1,300 of the most problematic signals that caused delays by 2018. I don't know about you, Ezra, but my commute was pretty okay this morning.
I mean, my train was delayed, so...
Hopefully they'll try to fix that in the near future.
And that's all for this edition of Hunter News Now.
On behalf of everyone in the studio, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next year.